Hey, shalom, shalom, most high in Christ, blessed to you. I am Captain Zakar, and to my right.
Salim.
And we're going to go over here real quickly, Black Hebrew Israelites, because it's confusing
Right.
to those that actually know who they are to be called Black Hebrew Israelites. Before we even start, Officer Leon, what race would the world call you if you didn't know you was an Israelite? What were they?
They would call me Puerto Rican.
A Puerto Rican.
Right.
Wow, so you're not black.
Nah, I'm not black.
Technically, you're not black.
Technically, I'm not black.
But you ain't nothing but a few shades
Right.
lighter than me as brown. But
Right.
technically, to the world, you're not black.
Yeah, I consider Hispanic.
You consider Hispanic.
Right.
Okay. Well, you got to say something in Spanish, too, to prove it. Going to be like, it's just a light skin.
Oye, ¿cómo está? Nosotros aquí está diciendo la Biblia, okay?
There you go.
That's what.
I can't say
Spanish.
none of that. So, give me that 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. So let's see what Black Hebrew Israelites are. 2
Right.
Timothy 2:15.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Why would God tell us to study to show ourselves approved unto him? It's because you could be completely wrong in what you believe or in what you have learned, and you can actually be fighting against God
Right.
in ignorance and not know. Because why? Whatever is on your TV, whatever is on your social media,
Yep.
whatever is put in front of your face first, you run with that and don't actually do any research to know if what is being put in your face is true. When we all know that the media is very powerful and they can manipulate people very quickly
Yes.
with a lie, and it won't come out until 40 years later that was actually a lie.
Right.
But you believed in it wholeheartedly.
Yep.
That's why God said, make sure you study to show yourself approved unto him. Give me that in Acts chapter 5. Let's show you that, because that's actually biblical. When the disciples were going and preaching Jesus, instead of sacrificing under the laws of Moses for the forgiveness of sins, they was teaching forgiveness of sin through Jesus.
Right.
And asking for forgiveness in his name to God. It was opposition against that as well. So let's read that in Acts chapter 5. Let's read verse 38 and 39.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
That's that, and you have to open your spiritual eyes to understand that if what you see or seen all over the internet and the media with hundreds of men showing up in front of the Barclays Center, if that is of man, it'll come to naught.
Right.
It'll come to naught, right? Read on.
But if it be of God,
If it be of God, if it is actually the Spirit of God that is on those men that are making them rise up and chant, Jacob,
Yep.
it's time to wake
Wake
up.
up.
We got some good news. You are the Jews, the real Jews. But if that be of God, read on.
ye cannot overthrow it,
Uh-huh.
lest haply ye be found even to fight against God.
They'll be doing what?
Fight against God.
If you don't study to show yourself approved to God, you can be completely wrong, and you can be fighting against God with his enemies and not know it.
Right.
That's heavy. And we're all going to meet our maker. Our body will turn into the dust from which it came, but your soul will stand before Christ on Judgment Day. And you will have to give account for all the things that you have spoken out of your mouth, all the things that you have done in your body. And you could be fighting against God and not even know it on the side of his enemies.
Right.
Give me that in Psalms 83. If you got a script, you can pull it too, officer, if you need to. Give me that in Psalms 83. Let's show the people that, because you may not have studied to show yourself approved to God. Well, this is where we come in and we help bridge the gap. so you can get your life right with God on his terms of what he says is right and not your own. Psalms 83, I want you to read verse 1.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
This is David praying to the Most High, right? And it's written in Psalms 83 for us to read today. Read on.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Hold on. David said what?
Thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult. David is letting you know that God has enemies.
Right.
Everybody does not love the God of this Bible.
Nope.
Everybody does not believe in the God of this Bible. Therefore, they are what? They are the enemies of God. Read that again, verse 2.
Verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate God have lifted up their head in pride against him. They have lifted up their head, and they do what?
They have taken crafty.
Hold on. No, you ain't got to read on. They hate God, and they slander those that God has chosen to fight on his behalf.
Right.
And you can be fighting with the enemies of God against those that God has chosen to fight for him against spiritual wickedness in high places. Go ahead. You got something?
Yeah, I got something. Give me Deuteronomy. I don't know if you got it. Deuteronomy 33 and 29. Because like Cap said, you don't know if you're fighting against the Lord. One, because you're not studying upon his word. So you don't know. You don't know. Because guarantee, everybody saw the movement, what happened in Brooklyn and Barclays Center. Once again, that would have never happened if the Lord wasn't on our side. To bring that much men together in one mind, you never seen that. But read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 29.
Read.
Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord.
Ain't nobody like the Israelites saved by the Lord. Because only the Israelites could bring all our people together under the Lord. Right. Only the Israelites could do that. Read.
The shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellence.
The Lord is our help and our excellence to organize and to do such things, to show and wake up our people.
That's right.
To wake them up, to understand, like I was saying, it's not a black Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
It's Israel.
Yep.
An Israelite. That's it. There's no black in front of it. There's no Hispanic. It's Israelites.
Right.
That's what we are. Read on.
And thine enemies.
And who?
Thine enemies.
Your enemies, the one that who you learn from, the one who you on their side, but you don't know, but we telling you now, you are on their side. You're not on the Lord's side, but we telling you, so you will know. Read it again.
And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
That your enemies shall be found liars unto you. Because we mentioning, we is not no black Hebrew Israelite. Because I guarantee you look at the format, you looked at the video of what we done, you see all black people, right? So that's why they put all black here. But in that mix,
right.
those are Hispanics as well, so-called Hispanics.
Right. So-called Hispanics,
right.
Native Americans.
Native American Indians.
What you would call Native Americans, what you would call Puerto Ricans,
right.
what you would call El Salvadorians, what you would
right.
call Mexicans.
Yep.
They are mingled amongst their brothers in that crowd that you can't see.
Right. You know why they can't see? Because they're all Israel.
Right. They all Israel. But what has happened is that white supremacy has sought to derail the unification of God's people and have labeled them black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
When I've got what the world would call a Puerto Rican sitting right here next to me.
Right.
Make it make sense.
Make it, please.
Give me that in James chapter 4, verse 4. James chapter 4, verse 4. So how do you know that you could be an enemy of God?
Right.
Let's read that.
James chapter 4 and verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
So the friendship of the world is hatred with God. It's hatred in his eyes. That's what enmity means. Read on.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
That's how you know that you're an enemy of God. if you are a friend with the world, if you are okay with the way that society where we live at here in America, known as Babylon the Great, if you are okay with the way that society is moving or the direction is going with in the progressive, liberal,
Right.
hell, even if
Right.
it's conservative,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
It's the
If
same.
you're okay with that, you are the enemy of God. If you believe in love is love,
Right.
and you know what, no matter who it is, what sex or gender it is,
Right. Oh, yep.
you're an enemy of God, because God does not say that. He said man was made for woman and woman was made for man. If you believe that you can dress however you want to,
Yep.
you're an enemy of God, because
Right.
God gave a dress code to his sons and his daughters that are Israel. If you believe you can worship God on any day of the week,
Right.
and not the seventh day which God commanded, you're an enemy of God. If you believe you can eat whatever you want to, as long as you pray over it,
Yep.
you're the enemy of God, because there's a dietary law in the Bible that God gave for his people to follow. So how would you know you're the enemy of God? If you're a friend with the ways of society. That's how you know you're an enemy of God. But and you know the main way you know how you know you're the enemy of God, you call his prophets black Hebrew Israelites, not knowing that the media put that label on God's prophets
Right.
to in a derogatory use it in a derogatory term.
Yes.
Like they're not the
Real Jews.
real Jews. They're not the
Yeah,
real Israelites.
Israelites.
They're black
Black.
Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
And you use it because they fed it to you. Give me that in Acts 21. So let's see something. Let's see one of the most famous prophets that was responsible for writing most of the New Testament. Let's see what you would call him. Acts 21. Let's read verse 37.
Acts chapter 21 and verse 37.
Yeah.
And as Paul was to be led into the castle.
So we're talking about the Apostle Paul, right? Knocked off his horse, called by Jesus. Go and teach to all the scattered Israelites and those that the Israelites that lived like Gentiles in the New Testament that we read about. Go and teach them. So we're speaking about Paul. Read on.
He said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
Can you speak the language of the Greeks? We all know Alexander, what they call him,
Yeah,
Alexander the Great.
Yep.
The Greek. He was
Exactly.
Greek. We all know Ptolemy. They were Greeks. We know that those were, quote unquote, Caucasian white people, right? So there is a man asking him, can you speak the language of us Caucasians, us whites, known as Greeks at this time? Let's see what Paul said. Read on.
Art not thou that
Well, this is the guy still talking to him. And what's the question he asked him?
art not thou that Egyptian?
Hold on. He asked Paul if he was an Egyptian.
Right.
This isn't the modern people that call themselves Egyptians, which are Arabs that live in Egypt now. No, this is an ancient. Aren't you that Egypt? He's talking about the ancient Egyptians, thousands of years ago, that lived in that land. Right? Read verse 38 again.
Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar, and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?
That were murderers, right? Real quickly, can we pull up the images of what the ancient Egyptians look like to see what this man saw when he looked at Paul?
We got images.
So that right there is, and everybody know, you see that little eye up there in the right corner? Everybody know that's that one of them Egyptian eyes with the mascara and stuff all around it, right? So this is an Egyptian on a wall. You would call him black today.
Right.
Let's zoom out on that picture and see it. That's the picture right there. That's an ancient Egyptian. And if you look in the bottom right corner, that's a female, the Egyptian woman. Both of them would be considered black today. Let's go to some more images. There go some more ancient Egyptians. You would call them black today. They are as brown as all outdoors, like the people that you call black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
When they saw that, they saw Paul. Is that it on the images? So when they saw Paul, they asked him, "Are you one of those?"
Right.
That's what they saw.
Yep.
So now let's read verse 39 and see how Paul referred to them.
Verse 39.
Answered him back. Go ahead.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew.
He's a what?
A Jew.
Hold on. So that man asked him, was he an ancient Egyptian? And Paul had to correct him and said, no, I'm a Jew. I know we look like them,
Right.
but I'm not an Egyptian. I'm a Jew. Okay. He's a Jew. We got that. We've seen the images of ancient Egyptians. Paul confirmed, I am a Jew. I'm not an Egyptian, like you just saw in the images. Now, give me that in Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3, and let's read verse 4 and 5.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more.
Paul is talking about I have confidence in the flesh. Well, we know what color his flesh is.
Right.
It's brown, right? Because he
Yep.
was mistaken for an Egyptian. Keep reading.
Circumcised the 8th day
Uh-huh.
of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin,
Okay.
and Hebrew of the Hebrews.
He was a what?
And Hebrew of the Hebrews.
Hold on.
Right.
Paul
Yeah.
So we know Paul was black.
Right.
And now he just clarified to us that he was a Hebrew.
Hebrew.
So Paul was a black Hebrew. Okay. Let's go to Romans chapter 11.
Hey, Cap, you
Yeah.
notice here in the Bible, it didn't put black first, but we put in his color is black because we read
Yeah.
that he was like an Egyptian.
You right?
But our people say, I tell you,
It didn't have black Hebrew next to it.
No.
Okay. All right.
But it had Hebrew.
Okay.
But we prove it more.
So Romans chapter 11 verse 1.
Yes.
Romans chapter 11 and verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Has he cast away the ancient Israelites and gotten a new people that are Caucasian
Cajun, right.
and look very, very pale, look like white people?
Yeah.
Has God cast away the ancient Israelites that look like Egyptians and got some new people that look like Russians?
Right. That look like Greeks.
That look like Greeks.
Greeks.
Did he cast away those brown people and get people that look like Greeks? Read it again from the top.
I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Uh-huh.
God forbid.
God forbid. Go ahead.
For I also am an Israelite.
Hold on. Pause or what?
For I also am an Israelite.
So hold on. So Paul was mistaken for an Egyptian, which were black people.
Yes.
Paul said that he's a Hebrew of the Hebrews. Paul also said that he is an Israelite. So if Paul walked the earth, who was called by Jesus the Christ to go and preach the gospel,
Yes.
people would be calling him a black Hebrew Israelite,
Right.
a derogatory term.
Right.
A man that was called by Jesus,
Yep.
they would be calling him a black Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
That's a part of a hate group,
Right.
rolling around with the other disciples, with Barnabas and teaching the gospel and
Right.
going around with Luke.
Yep.
Hey, he's a part of a hate group. Stay away from him. He hate everybody. That's what you would be saying about Paul.
Yep.
Because we proved that Paul looked like an ancient Egyptian, which was black. He said, I'm Hebrew. He said, I'm an Israelite. But never do you read
No.
black Hebrew Israelite
No.
anywhere in the Bible.
But now we understand why they said, because their mindset, they think it's somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
But in the Bible, they always been dark-skinned men.
Right.
That's why it doesn't say black Hebrew or black Israelite, because it always was named that they was dark.
Yeah, they was dark.
But
and-
now this age is something new. Oh man, they black Hebrew Israelite?
Right.
That's a derogatory term.
Now give me that in 1 Ezra chapter 5, and I want you to read 72 and 73, because the Israelites, we've always came in different shades of brown, And through a process of time, some of us have became very light-skinned.
Yes.
But that has not changed the fact
No.
that they are Israelites.
That's right.
Not at all, because the seed that is in them is still Israel.
That's
and we're going
right.
to prove it. Give me that first Ezra chapter 5, verse 72, 73.
First Ezra chapter 5 and verse 72. But the heathen of the land lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea,
The heathen lying heavy upon Judea. Go ahead.
and holding them straight, hindered their building.
They hindered the building by doing what, though? Keep reading.
And by their secret plots and popular persuasions.
When you call us black Hebrew
Hebrew
Israelites, you have been deceived by
Yes.
secret plots
Yes.
and popular persuasions. What are those popular persuasions? Media, news outlets,
Yep.
YouTube titles. You've been deceived by secret plots to hinder the unification
Yes.
of the nation of Israel coming
Right.
back as the 12 tribes.
Right. And like you brought it out before, Cap, in Psalms 83.
Yeah.
You ready? I'll tell you, man, it is a secret plot, like Cap just said, and the Bible said, against our people to unite us. They
That's
don't
it.
want that.
That's it.
They
Read verse 73 again.
Verse 73. And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions.
And commotions. Commotions is another word for slander.
Yep.
They throw all kind of slanderous terms out there, but have you yourself seen any of that stuff?
Right. No.
Wouldn't that stuff be primetime news if all
Right.
the stuff that is being said about them
Yep.
is true? I think it was, especially in today's world where everything is on social media.
Yes.
Within a split second.
Yep. As
And
it's
goes-
happening.
As it's happening, and it goes across the world in minutes.
Right.
But you ain't heard none of that, right?
Nope.
But by commotions, they did what?
They hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived.
And that's what they're trying to do again today. Hinder the building of the nation of Israel once again. Now, I want you to do this. So remember, they call us black Hebrew Israelites. We're going to put that misnomer to shame and crush it so you know that, these are secret plots.
Right.
That's a persuasion. That's media. We not going for that stuff no more. They are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Call them by their name.
Yep.
Don't disrespect them. That's white supremacy. That's hatred.
Yes.
Calling them black Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
Let's pull up that first video, and I'll just let it play, and then I'll tell you where to jump. Go ahead. Let's jump to about a minute or so into this. Yep, right there.
I went in for the pneumonia, like right away. They were like, oh,
Let's see who's speaking to those
'cause
brothers
I had
right
to go
there.
in a few times when I was sick. Right. And like every time they I said I just did the
Make
COVID
sure it's
test,
turned up.
2 days ago. Oh well, maybe we should test it again because it sounds like it goes with COVID.
No, Cap, you got
I
COVID.
said-
Oh, whoa, pause it.
Pause.
Whoa.
Oh.
That sure do look like a
Oh.
black Hebrew Israelite to me.
Right. Yeah, hey, you got to pull that because my skin, I'm a little dark, not too much.
You're a little darker than him.
Yeah, a little darker than him.
But they call him black Hebrew Israelite.
Yes.
You see how wrong you are
Right.
by following popular persuasions and secret plots?
Right.
That man right there, Deacon Yahshua, would be considered a Puerto Rican in the world today.
Yes.
He's not black.
No.
What you would call black Hebrew
Hebrew
Israelite.
Israelites.
He's not black at all.
No.
Let's go to the other video because he's considered a Puerto Rican
Yep.
to the world today, a so-called Puerto Rican. Let's go to the other video. Let's go about 2 minutes in on that video, and let's see who else we can see.
Le verá. ¿Y todo qué?
Wow.
Ojo le verá.
Oh.
¿Y todo qué? Le verá. Si dice que todo ojo lo verá, ¿qué tenemos que esperar y saber de Cristo? ¿Qué tenemos que saber de Cristo? Si todo ojo lo verá.
I never knew that. A black Hebrew Israelite speaking Spanish.
Right. Wow.
Reconocer al verdadero Cristo. Así es.
Teaching that Jesus is a black man.
Wow.
Viene con las nubes. Los platillos voladores, ¿le? Y todo ojo le verá. Dame Mateo
Amazing.
24:4.
Let's
¿Por qué
go
es
to
tan
the
importante?
third video.
Oh, we got more.
Let's go to the third because he would be considered the man that we just saw
Yeah.
is Officer
Cornelius.
Cornelius.
Yep.
He would be considered a Mexican.
Right.
in today's world, out on the streets.
Yeah.
Vato, what you would
Vato,
call.
yep.
He would be considered Mexican.
Yep.
Is he a black Hebrew Israelite? Let's play the other video. Let's play that. Let's listen to these brothers.
Específicamente para el reino del norte. Por eso que estamos enseñando en español, los ser llamados hispanos y nativoamericanos, los dispersidos de las 12 tribus de Israel. Okay,
So the man that you're listening to speak
especialmente
right
los que
now,
están
he
en
would be
otros
considered
países que no
a
están cerca, que
Dominican.
están bien
Yep.
lejos y
And the
quieren
brother next to him
crecer
too.
la congregación.
He's somewhere in that
Como,
picture.
tenemos
Yep,
que
he's right
aprender
there in the
a
back.
orar. So, tenemos que vivir una vida de oración. Vamos a abrir con 1 Tesalonicenses, capítulo
Is he a
5,
black Hebrew Israelite
versículo
too?
11 al 19. Vamos a leer.
Primer libro de Tesalonicenses.
Both
el
of them
quinto
speak in
libro,
Spanish.
Yeah.
En el versículo 11.
Wow.
Por lo cual,
Okay, give me that Matthew. We can drop those. Matthew
make
chapter
this up.
24, verse 24.
Wow. Can't make this up.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24.
Hold on, wait a minute. Man, before we read that scripture, I got another video. Play that other video that we got. And let's see if you call these people black Hebrew
Black
Israelites.
Hebrew Israelites.
Let's play that. The different languages. Yeah, let's play that.
بتحد ودو زعمنا زبله كله
بتحد ودو زعمنا زبله كله
نايزل العالم هيوت من انت خلق
De man die de meeste van zijn eigen broers elkaar haten. Hij heeft vol haar. En wanneer hij oud is en hij wordt opa, wat voor kleur heeft hij? Normaal. Erko, waar kiet was dat kongen te jamekos? Ore te mira su prinses, ta kana din garçom. Kuta pretende na woman.
Дальше. Стих 7. И пришел народ к Моисею и сказал, согрешили меня.
Wir wurden getäuscht. Man sagte, tja, wir wissen zwar nicht, wann Christus geboren worden ist, aber wir feiern Christus am 25.
Vas a morir en 2 meses. Mira, dice que tu abuelo te va a dejar una herencia. Pero mira, para que te asegures.
Avant d'aller à Jean 12, donne-moi Jean 7, verset 28.
Parti sous parole là, faut retirer bagay ça yo et na figi moun, bagay sans sens. Et nous allons apprendre.
Tatamilanin na vitamine T ay crier na nation. Uno na dever que le Superman fa volontato. Om da tu sondu ingo unu kado na kado.
Now give me that in Matthew chapter 24. So would you consider all those people black Hebrew? Because they usually put that label on African Americans.
Right.
So those people ain't in America.
Right.
They're not considered
They're
African
African-American.
Americans. Are they black Hebrew Israelites too? Matthew 24:14.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come.
The gospel that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and those of the diaspora, like we saw in the video, of all nations, of the seed of Israel, the gospel is that you're the Israelites. You're the Jews that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
You can't call them black Hebrew Israelites because they're in all nations.
Right.
God made sure that term would be cast down through the scriptures. Give me that in that video though. I want this video of why is it so much hatred? Why can't black men unify? Why can't they stand up for what they believe in without being slandered with derogatory terms by white supremacists in the media? Why can't they do that? Give me that video.
Like, I'm genuinely asking, what did we ever do to deserve anti-blackness in every single community? We were brought over here in chains. We were beat, raped, and murdered. We fought for our freedom just to end up with Jim Crow and segregation and being lynched by the KKK. We were segregated into our own communities, then denied jobs, denied funding for our schools. You kill our black men, then make fun of us for not having fathers. You dehumanize and demonize and kill our black women, and nobody bats an eye. What exactly did black people do? What exactly did we do? What exactly did black people ever do?
What did black people do to be hated? Right. So much anti-blackness that if they stand up and try to unify and get their houses in order, their kids out of the streets, get off drugs, marry their wives, stand up for God and preach the gospel as it is written. What did they do to be hated by so many people, by all nations, to be exact? Give me that in Deuteronomy 7:6. Why is there so much slander against those men that went to New York and showed support for a brother that is searching for his identity?
Right.
In Kyrie Irving, that's searching for truth in his identity. Why is there so much hatred for those men that are supporting him as he is searching for the truth?
Right.
Deuteronomy 7:6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Here's your answer of why black people have been hated for so long, along with Hispanics, along with Native Americans, why they're labeled black Hebrew Israelites, because they're holy people to God when they repent. Read on.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That's why it's so much hatred. That's why it's so much slander. That's why when black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man try to unify and stand up for God, they are labeled black Hebrew Israelites because they're special and they're chosen, and the world does not want to see them rise again.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.